is hot the way I like it. Okay. And by the way, my coffee has some sweet stuff in it, and it has some cream in it. That's the way I like it. I don't like it black. Call me names if you want to. That's fine. I don't go for none of this special coffee with all this $5 coffee stuff. I don't do none of that, but I like a little sugar and I like a little cream. Alright. I wanted to talk today about getting ready for a performance, okay? And, I've got a video about how to jam and what to do at a jam session and all that. So this is not going to be that kind of thing. This is, I'm getting ready for a performance. Now, a performance can be as simple as a backyard barbecue, or as complicated as anything else where you've got hundreds of people watching you, whatever. But it is important, in my opinion, to prepare for any type of performance that you're going to do. Even that backyard barbecue, why not make it a good show for the people there? It can be relaxed, it can be fun. Any performance can be fun. But why not take the opportunity to get ready for this? If you have any desire to regularly play in front of people, why not go ahead and start practicing this now? Because it is a skill just like everything else. Okay, my black book. All right. So this is kind of what I do as one step to get ready for a performance. Okay, obviously, I've got my banjo. I'm going to play the heck out of it. I'm going to practice. Okay, but when we're performing, we want to have a little ebb and flow to our performance, and we want to wow the people, and we want them to have fun. So we need to pick the songs that we're going to play, obviously. So one thing my husband and I like to do is we each have a book. So in our book, we have, songs that we like to do and work on. And what we'll do is when we're getting close to time to do a performance, we will pick our tunes that we're going to do for the performance. And, whoa, I got one flying. And we will break them down and figure out exactly what we're going to do with the tune. Because obviously, let's see. Here's a simple one that I've got written in some things, and this is Rocky Top. But so we've got our chords and our lyrics and things, and then we've got our notes. So right here we have a break, and then we've added a last line to this, and we may have breaks, and let me find one that's really chopped up, and it's that one right there. Hang on. All right, so you can see there's writing all over this. You've got intros, breaks, ending, all kind of stuff. So, and you see stuff scratched out too, because these are working pages. So what we do is we go through our songs, and this changes a lot, but and that's why it's kind of important to do this, even if you've never done this before, people. It's good to have a book of songs you like to do, or new songs you're trying out. Where did I have this page? And it's good to have a book. Print them out. And this is kind of what we prefer. We don't use tab or anything like that. We just have chords, lyrics. That's all we need. And most of the time all we need is lyrics. But anyway, so you'd have on your sheet your information if you're using a capo, where it's at. Anything special about the song. And you're going to practice it this way. So you have your book. That's the first thing. Have your book. So if you don't have a book already, go out and get you a cheap little binder. Get you some of these protector pages, whatever, because it's good to move things around. And get all your tunes that you play printed out. Even the ones you don't like, okay? Print them out anyway, because you may play it someday. So we have our book, and we go through, and we practice these tunes. We get them worked out to where we like them. And um, you think, Mandy, I don't play with anybody else. What do you mean work it out? Okay. You're going to have an intro to a song. This is just you playing, okay? You're not playing with anybody else. You're going to have an intro to a song. Everybody does. You don't just start blah, 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 playing this thing. You have a little intro. If there's anything special about that intro or different chords you're going to use, whatever, you may want to write it down. What I like to do for an intro is I'll take the second, if you have your verses listed there, you have your, here's like, will the circle be unbroken? Okay. So here's will the circle be unbroken. And let's see if you can see this. So right here, I'll take the last two lines. I wouldn't say this or anything, but I'll take the last two lines and I'll play when I saw the hearse come rolling for to carry my mother away. Okay, so I will play those chords as an intro. And sometimes I'll even play the last part of my little break that would make up those words there and those chords as an intro. And it's just an easy, good way to have an intro. And that way it cues, if you're playing with other people, it cues your other musician. It gives them a lot of information. It gives them the timing, the speed, and where we're at in the song, everything. And they can come in. It just makes it easier. Okay, so intros, breaks. You want to, if you try to have all this by memory and you change things around, you're going to forget things. And it's just going to make it harder for you when you try to go to your performance and do your deal. It's natural to be nervous. Even at that backyard barbecue, okay? It's natural to be nervous. But we need to practice what we're going to do before we go do it, so that sort of calms our nerves a little bit. Okay. Anyway, I've taken a long time to get around to this, but this might just be long. You'll have to deal with it. So now, we've got our book. We've got 4 or 5 tunes, whatever, however many tunes we're going to play. If you have a performance that's an hour long, obviously you're going to play a couple more than that. But just an informal little performance, you're probably going to play 4 or 5 songs. And you may make them sing-alongs, and they may last a long time, that sort of thing. So get yourself a book. Start doing that. It's good to just have that anyway. But so after we do that, we practice our tunes. And here's another important thing that you need to do. You need to come up with an order. And I spilled a drop. So you need to come up with an order. Here's a set list. Here's one of our set lists. Okay. So this is just a little sheet of paper that I can rip off and just have sitting on the floor next to me. Or on the microphone stand or something, where people can't see it. A lot of times you put it on the floor and they can't see it. But that's just my little set list, and that's got sunshine. It's just got one word because we know what the songs are. So we have this listed in order of how we're going to play the songs. And we've practiced these songs a lot prior to the performance, okay? So we don't just sit there on stage or at the barbecue or wherever and go, what do you want to play next? I don't know. What do you want to play? No, that's bad, okay? Let's not do that. Let's get in the habit of, now, for the backyard barbecue, if you're going to do something like this, you're just doing it for yourself, okay? You're doing it so that you get into the habit of this, and it just makes your whole performance less stressful, and it makes it look more professional to everybody out there, even at the barbecue, okay? And, you may be going, Mandy, I'm doing a barbecue. I'm just relaxing, whatever. And I understand that. But my point here is if you ever want to be performing, on a regular basis, if that's one of your goals, let's work towards that. And these are some steps to take, and they'll help you. So, yeah, have yourself a little set list. So, this one was You Are My Sunshine, I'll Fly Away, Bury Me Beneath the Willow, Wagon Wheel, Cluck Old Hen, Wordman Blues, and Rocky Top. Okay, and you always, another little tip here, you always want to end on a song, number one, that everybody knows, number two, that's going to make them happy, and for us, make them rowdy, okay? Sing-alongs, things that everybody knows. That's what you end on, okay? You want them leaving wanting more, okay? That's the whole point of this. And, you want them leaving to where they want to go. Where do I get their CD? Where do I buy this? Or where do I get more of their music? Or where are they performing next so I can see them again? That sort of thing. And, I know you're thinking, I'm not going to be doing a CD, Mandy. That's not the point here. I hope you realize, when you do things, yes, you need to be relaxed and comfortable and all that. And yes, I sit around barefoot all the time. And I'm not going to sit up on stage barefoot. I mean, people do that, but that's not my deal. But anyway, you want to be professional. You want this to come over good, right? So, yeah, do those things. And another thing that I think is crucial, if you're going to perform, is to warm up, okay? We all know, you should know, I mean, if you play for hours at a time, you know this. The more you play and get warmed up, and for me, it's my left hand. My right hand's fine all the time. Even for the picking that I do. I mean, I don't do any scruggs, fast, crazy picking anyway. So, but my left hand is the one that sometimes is a little stiff. But what I try to do is have at least a good 15 to 20 minutes prior to doing what I'm doing to warm up. Now, at the barbecue, unless they're coming to your house or unless they just live right over there, you could practice at your house and get a little warmed up before you come. And, you could do that. But there are times when you can't. What if you're late? What if, okay. So that's where this comes in, right here, okay? These are great. These are magical. So, we do anyway, we want to start out on a obviously fun, but a sort of slow, easy, fun tune. And we try to get ones that people know. We try to have our first one be that. But we have it kind of a moderate pace, not anything fast for the first tune. That's kind of what we do, so that if we don't have an opportunity to warm up good, you've got it right there in the song, okay? It gives you a chance to kind of warm all those rusty gears up, okay? It's a good thing to do. Now, the banjo. Let me get me another swig of this. Go-go juice. This brings me to my next important thing, okay? What do I do? How do I play the banjo all the time that you see me? I sit right here on my tushy, okay? Now, if I'm at the barbecue or the performance or wherever, am I going to be sitting? And am I going to be guaranteed a seat? Do I even know that? Has this thought ever even crossed your mind? You may not be able to sit down. So let me introduce you to my little friend here called the strap. And let me tell you this. If you don't practice standing up and you don't do it regularly, you're not going to be able to do it. It is a lot different. I mean, a lot different. Now, let me get into a little sensitive subject here. If you got a little girth about you, like I do, when you stand up, the banjo sort of goes out. Okay? And I can't, it's a lot harder for me to look down. Now, I've had neck surgery, but, so my neck's a little stiff anyway, but it's harder to look down. And also another thing, when you're standing up, like I said, it goes out. Another thing that happens is, if you'll notice, the front of my banjo and my head, there's a big difference between what I do here, where I'm sort of leaned forward. I can see what's going on at this fretboard if I want to. However, I'll share a little secret with you. I'm getting to the age where through my glasses, I can't see close up. Everything, when I look over here at my hand, it is a blur. I'm like, whoa. So you'll see me, when I read or whatever, I take the glasses off. I can see it crystal clear now. I can't do this while I'm playing, obviously. So if you see me look at my left hand while I'm playing, that is totally just instinct. I mean, I can't see what's happening. But back to my point there. When I'm sitting down, I can sort of bring myself forward just naturally. It's just natural for me to sort of bring myself forward. Now, when I'm standing up, that banjo's out in front of me. I can't see what's going on over here. Not nearly as easy. And I certainly can't see what's going on over here. So, if you don't know your instrument, like the back of your hand, you need to start knowing it. By feel, okay? Where everything's at. Now, your right hand, you should know where them strings are at. If you don't know where them strings are at, you need to practice more. And like I've talked to people before, that thumb acts as an anchor point when you root it. And that's why I stress the importance of that. And you can find those strings by the distance open or closed that your hand is when it hits. And this is a muscle memory type deal. Anyway, we're standing up because there's no seat. We don't have a seat. Or the microphone is too high and won't go low enough for a seat. Unless you bring your own, you may have to be standing up. And you might not be ready for that. Why not just get yourself ready for these things, okay? Most banjos, not all, there's a lot that don't, but most banjos, not all banjos have this, but on this top binding here, there are white dots that mark the frets. So this is the 3rd fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret. Okay? These things are for you to be able to see where, it sort of gives you a guide. And you can see that while you're standing up. And that's kind of a nice little feature. And not all banjos have that, but a lot of them do. So yeah, if you're not sure whether you're going to be able to sit down or not, you best practice standing up some and get comfortable with that, because it is a world of difference. Okay. Now, another thing, to get our banjo ready for the performance, okay? I am of the mindset that I don't wipe down my strings after I play. I don't do it. My banjo is out, hanging on the wall, so that I can grab it anytime I want and play it. And I do that sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. So there'll be dust on it. There's the oils from my fingers on all the strings, and that degrades strings. It's like $6 for a new pack of strings. I change my strings every 3 or 4 months. Now, sometimes I'll go longer. Sometimes I'll go 6 months. And it's just because I don't feel like changing them. Do they sound a little flat? Maybe. Is it going to kill me? No. Now, if I'm performing, I want to make sure I change them. Now, I don't want to change them the day I'm going to be performing or the day before. I want to do it a couple days before. Enough time that the strings will stretch however much they're going to stretch, and that I've played them a little bit. Especially if you're changing your style of strings or anything like that. Wow, you don't want to change them before you do a performance. Anyway, and the last thing that I want to talk about on this subject is going through your set list. You know, that set list that I've been talking about. Okay. So, I want to test my set list. I want to see how long it takes me to get through it. Because what if I'm at an elementary school for half an hour or 20 minutes or whatever that I can play something for them? If I'm doing that, then I need to make sure what songs I want to play. You know, I don't want to just kind of go in there and... Now, you can go in there and say, hey, kids, anybody got anything they want to request? And maybe I can play it. Maybe I know it. I can do that. I've done that. You want to do that when you're a lot more comfortable with playing. But timing, you know, we want to make sure that, one, we have enough material, because, oh my goodness, if you don't have enough material, you're going to be up there going, yeah, so, I've been playing banjo, yeah, does anybody know how to play banjo? You want to try it out? You know, you don't want to get to that stuff, okay? You don't want to get to that point. It's good to have interaction with your audience, but you don't want to come in there with not enough material. So, one thing that we've done in the past when we weren't sure how much time we had is we would just put a line near the bottom and add a couple of more. And we'll practice them, knowing that if we run through our set list really fast and we have extra time, or if something happens, you know, and we have extra time, that we have 2 or 3 more tunes prepared. Now, chances are we won't get to play them, but we have them ready if we get to. That's a good way to be. You know, you want to be prepared. So yeah, run through it. And even look like a fool in your house or wherever you're practicing, and run through everything you're going to do. So you sit there and you go, well, hey, everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever, right? Say, how's everybody feeling today, or whatever. You know, you start your little introduction and you say, how's everybody doing today? And you might have somebody say something. And if you do, you get to talk to them for a minute. That's cool. But have this going on and ready, sort of formulated in your head. It's a good thing to do, because you may not realize it when you go to watch someone, but they, if they're smart, and I've seen ones who are not smart, okay, I just recently did, and wow, okay, if you're not prepared, it's obvious to the audience, okay, especially if there's any musicians in the audience, it's very obvious to them. Maybe not just anybody, but if you're not prepared, it's obvious. So don't get up there, even at the barbecue, people, okay, don't get up there and go, I'm not sure what to play, or things like that. So, things you might do, you know, you might tell a joke, something like that. I am not a good joke teller, so I do not do that. I just don't. I stay away from that, because, man, I'm not good at that. Now, I can make people laugh in other ways, but telling a joke is not it. But, so you might say, hey, everybody, how you doing? We came in from wherever, like if you're from somewhere else or something like that, and the drive really, you know, it was great until we ran past all them cows, you know, with the windows down. That wasn't a good idea, you know, something like that. Or whatever. You know, you just have a little bit of a conversation. And you say, hey, we've been together, blah, 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 whatever. If it's just you, you know, you just give them a little bit. You don't have to go off into this big bio and everything. That can bore people. You want to get playing music pretty fast. But you also want to have a little introduction. Something like, hey, it's great to be here. This is my first time playing here, and I'm real excited about it, and I hope that y'all will enjoy it. I've got a couple tunes planned out for you, or I've got a couple tunes I'm going to play for you, and sit back and enjoy it. And if you know it, why don't you sing with me? I'd love to hear you singing. That sort of thing. So, you do that. And then sometimes you can do, like, you're not going to end a song and go directly into the next song. You're going to go, oh, thank you everybody. Hopefully they're clapping. If they're not, but hopefully they're clapping. And sometimes you'll have that one in the audience that just, they talk at you all the time. And those are fun a lot of times. Sometimes they're not, but so anyway, in between your songs, have something that you loosely want to say about it. You don't want to type out some kind of script or something, because that's stiff and wouldn't come off right. But you have your little introduction or whatever. If you're with other people, you have an introduction of the band. Hey, to my left is my gorgeous husband, blah blah blah, whatever. But yeah, so you have your little intro. So you might have your little band introduction or something like that. There's a plane flying over. I'm just gonna wait for it. It's annoying. Okay, so in between songs, have a little something you want to say. Now, one thing that you can say that's easy, okay, is you can give a little introduction for each tune before you play it. People like that. They get maybe a little history of the song, or maybe a funny story about one time you played it and something crazy happened or something like that. So you might say, okay, I'm fixing to do for you now a murder ballad. And for those of you who don't know what a murder ballad is, it's a very, 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 very sad tale. And it's true. They're usually always true. And you think in your mind, somebody murdered somebody in a bad way, usually over love or jealousy, something like that. And they murdered them. And then y'all wrote a song about it. So, here you go. I hope you enjoy this murder ballad. That sort of thing. As a joke. Whatever. And I'm not a jokester. But you give them a little introduction about the song, like, I just did the video Tom Dooley, and that's a true story about a guy in North Carolina, and he murdered Lori Foster, and, Grayson is the guy she was sort of with during this time, and it was kind of a love triangle thing, but it's good history, people appreciate that. Not just you. I appreciate that kind of stuff, but so does your audience. So give them a little bit of that if you want. You don't have to, but you can give them a little bit of that. You can maybe tell them who wrote the song, whatever. You can say, oh, here's a tune from blah, blah, whoever. Doesn't matter, you can, and it sort of, it tells your band, if you have one, what's the next song. They should have this set list too now. They should have that, but let's say, and this happens occasionally, let's say you're going to go off the list. Dun, dun, dun. I'm going off the list. Okay. Set list is not written in stone. It's a good guide. But let's say we're getting a bad vibe from the audience, or we're cued from, whoever, that we've only got 5 minutes left. Or something, whatever. Something happens. We're having an audio problem with one of our mics, okay? And it's my turn to sing. I can either run over to somebody else's mic and sing with them, and that's no big deal. People like that too. But if there's, some sort of problem like that or whatever, you're going to go off the list. So I've been told I got 5 minutes left, and I'm only halfway through my list. What am I going to do? I'm going to play that one song that I have at the end. That's what I'm going to do. So I just say, hey, everybody, we're doing Rocky. And they know we're doing Rocky Top, and it's fixing to get fun up in this place. So, especially around here, everybody freaks when you do that song. They just love it. And why not? It's a great song. But things can happen. Things will happen. You're going to mess up. Go watch my Playing Through Mistakes video, okay? Learn that. It is a skill to play through your mistakes. And you're going to have them, okay? You're going to have them. Again, I'm long-winded. This video has went long, but it's packed full of good stuff for you guys, okay? You know, so it's your responsibility to give these people a good show. And yes, I'm still talking about the barbecue too. It's your responsibility. You've said, hey, I'm going to bring my banjo and play. Well, they want to be entertained. And yes, it can be fun and relaxed and all that. But like I said before, if you have any desire to ever do this in the future, and if the occasion comes up, why not do it? It's fun, okay? So plan this out. Get to playing all your songs. Go ahead and play them, you know, kind of in order on your set list too. Have family watch your whole show. Go through it with them, in front of them. See what they think about it. One time we didn't have anybody available that could watch. So we just rolled a camera and went through the whole thing to time it to see how long it lasted. You can do that. You know, you can set a timer on your phone or whatever, you know, the stopwatch thingy. Something like that. But have somebody watch it, give you feedback, you know, and you say things to them like, well, you know, was there too many sad songs, you know? Was it, you know, did it flow nicely? You know, you can play a song next to another song and people go, oh, you know, like, and I have to go back to a performance I saw the other night that I was just aghast. I'm sorry, but I could not believe they were on a stage with 300 people watching and they were doing this crap. Anyway, you know, be a little more professional. That's what I expect. That's what your audience expects, okay? We want to be entertained. And when you show up and you're billed as a folk and Celtic band, as the audience, I expect the songs to be folk and Celtic. I don't expect the blues, that's what was played, Hawaiian music. It was all over the map. And, you know, that just doesn't make for a good show, in my opinion. Then again, I'm probably more critical because I am a musician. But, you know, you have to think about these things, you know. Is your audience, and in the audience, everybody but myself and my husband was probably over 50. So it was playing to an older audience. But, you got to think about these things. You know, is there going to be a bunch of teenagers there? If there's teenagers there, good luck. Sorry, I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean. If you got millennials there and all that, you know, you need to target some of your music to them. Now, there is music that will go across all the ages and everything like that, and that's great stuff to play. You know, a lot of these old folk tunes that we play, those millennials and stuff, they might not love that song, but they know that song. And they might go, oh, yeah, hey, you are my sunshine, you know, that sort of thing. So you want to play some of your songs need to be a good, vast audience. Another performance we saw like 2 weekends ago, we were at a little music fest kind of thing where they had acts all day. But this guy came up there for an hour and he played only original songs. Now, I like original songs, okay? But I'm not much of a songwriter, but I really like original songs. However, you lose your audience. If you're not a big star already and they know some of your songs, if you play an hour straight of original songs, people are getting up and walking out. Even if you're a darn good musician, okay? They're just doing it because they can't relate to what you're doing. Now, it's good to, you know, songs always tell a story. Not always, but most of the time they tell a story. But this guy, for an hour, it was original song after original song after original song. I just don't think that's a great idea. If you're at some kind of songwriter showcase, blah blah blah, something like that, sure, do that. That's not what this was, okay? You want to relate to your audience, okay? And this may come in handy there too, because you show up, you're warming up, you're getting ready, whatever, and you notice that the audience is whatever, a certain age, or they're all, I don't know, you're at a country type event, or you're at a blues event, bluegrass and blues, or what do they call it, barbecue and blues, or whatever. They have events like that. If you're at a blues event and you show up with this set list, might not be a great idea. Okay? You want to have it sort of compare and match what you're doing and what your audience is. So last minute, you may be changing your set list based upon that. Or you show up and get there and they say, you only got a half hour, something ran late, we had equipment problems, blah blah blah, whatever. So your hour long just went to half hour. You got to cut some of these things. But you had a plan, okay? It's easy to deviate when you have a plan. When you don't have a plan and you show up and they go, okay, your hour turned into a half hour, you're like, oh, okay, what was I thinking about doing? I need to cut a couple of these songs. I'm just going to play until the half hour is up. Versus, I have a plan. I have my tunes laid out. I'm ready to roll. And I'm flexible. Who's going to give the better show? Okay? Be prepared. And that's all I got. It was enough. I'm sure it probably went over a half hour. Woo! But if you held on, I'm sure you got some juicy little tidbits out of that. Because, yeah, this stuff's important. And I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. Just like my intro to jamming, I've had so many people comment and say, wow, thank you. I didn't know what to do, and I'd never been told that before, sort of thing. And I'm no expert at any of this, people. This is just from my personal experience. But I figured, why not share that with you guys? There's a lot of you guys out there who I've talked to, and who's messaged me and that sort of thing, and emailed me and stuff. And I've got several that are branching out, and one that the band just played their first gig a couple weeks ago, and wow, that's cool. I love hearing that. And he sort of told me about what had happened, and so I just tried to give him a little bit of friendly advice from my perspective, and he ended up taking that advice and talking to the band a little bit, and they sort of followed one of my suggestions. They didn't do everything, and they didn't, I wouldn't expect them to, but as musicians, you help other musicians. I mean, man, I love it. That's like the best part for me, you guys. When I hear from you and you say, hey, I took this song of yours, not of yours, this song that you do, and I changed it up a little bit, and we just played it, and man, the audience went nuts, or whatever. I love hearing those stories, you guys. Or, this is our most requested thing that we do when we go play this at the senior center, or whatever. Man, I love sharing things with you guys. And I love hearing from you guys that you have taken maybe one or two of my little suggestions, things that have helped me over the years, and you guys are doing them too. That's just so cool. But we're a tribe of people. I really feel like we're kindred spirits, musicians, and even we play all different kinds of stuff, all different genres, all different everything, but we can relate to a lot of the same things. So anyway, now I've went another 2 or 3 minutes unintentionally, but I hope y'all have a great day, and I hope you keep some of this in mind and maybe implement some of this stuff. Anyway, before I go, I just want you to always remember, Jesus loves you. You have a great day. Bye-bye.